In this lesson, I will be showing you how to install Apache and PHP as a testing web server your environment on a Windows 8.1 or 8 workstation. This is the site we want, so I'm going to open it. At the time of this video, version 2.4.16 is the latest stable version, and you can download it from here. But we won't click here. Rather, for Windows, you can't find it on this site. There are a couple of external sites where you can pick it up from, a pre-compiled version. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to pick it up from Apache House, which is a very famous and popular location to pick your Windows Apache download. Now you can see there are a bunch of download options. So which one should I pick? So at the very beginning in this lesson, there is a very important thing that you will have to pay attention to. You should make the very correct choice in which download you want to take. And if you select correctly, this will save you hours together of frustration. What are the parameters that you have to consider? The first parameter is whether your Windows is a 32-bit or a 64-bit. Like me, if you are running on a 64-bit version of Windows, then you can actually run both Apache 32-bit and 64-bit, but it will not work vice versa. That is, if your operating system is 32-bit, you cannot run a 64-bit Apache or PHP. You can see here, this is 64-bit, this is 32-bit. This is 32-bit, this is 64-bit, and so on. Same for Apache and for PHP both. So the first choice is whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit that you are picking up. The second very important choice that you have to make is the open source is compiled by which version of Visual Studio, and it has to match perfectly with Apache and PHP both. What do I mean by that? This open source code can be compiled to get you the binaries that will run the applications. Right now you can see VC9, VC11, and so on. Now VC11 stands for Visual Studio 2012. So whatever I choose for Apache, for PHP I have to match the same thing. So I'm going to choose this, and I want the 64-bit version. So this is what I want. So as we saw in the previous page, 2.4.16 is the latest version. 64-bit is what I want, compiled by VC11 Visual Studio. So with all these parameters, this is the choice that I have to make. For the sake of brevity, in this video I have already downloaded this file. This is the Apache download, and I'm going to install it now. Now, before we do that, there is a very nice write-up on how to do the installation, and I want you to refer to it while you are doing your own installation. And this is on this site. Unfortunately, there is no good documentation in other place on how to do this properly. You can see this address. It's superuser.com. Thanks to whoever created this. So I assume that when you are doing your own installation, you will properly read through all of this, but I'm going to do it very quickly and show you. This is a zip file. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, now I want Apache to be installed on the C colon, that's my main root drive. I will right click and just paste it. Right, so here we have it. Installation is actually as simple as that. There are a couple of things I have to do now to make it run on the system. I will need to run two commands from the command prompt. So I'm going to open the command prompt, and remember, you need to run it as an administrator. If you right click, run as an administrator, I want to traverse to my Apache installation. Change directory, Apache. The executables are in this folder, bin, which actually stands for binaries, cd bin. Okay, and now Apache executable is named HTTPD. Okay, you can see this HTTPD is the actual Apache server. In almost all cases, you will prefer to run Apache as a Windows service on your system. I'm going to show you how to run it as a service. But before that, let us see what all type of options you can, parameters you can run Apache with. I can do that like this with this command, httpd with a /? This will give me all the parameters like so. Now you can see there are a bunch of different things you can do with this. First, what I want to do is do the install. This will install an Apache service, and it will be configured to run every time as a Windows service when you start the operating system. httpd -k install. You can see the Apache 2.4 service is successfully installed. Okay, so the service has been installed, but Apache web server is not yet started, so I cannot actually serve files currently. We can do that very quickly. The second command I want is -k start, and there are corresponding, you stop command also, which you can use at some point of time. httpd -k start. Perfect. So httpd -k start. Let me just quickly test this. I can test this by going to localhost on my browser in any. Superb. So you have a confirmation that it works. This is a default page being served by Apache server, which confirms that your server is working fine. Okay, as far as you are concerned, Apache has been successfully installed. It should not take more than 5 minutes. Now, see, this is the file that is actually being served. When you are building your own applications, web applications, htdocs is the folder where you will want to put up your web content. Now, I will move on to the next part of the video, which is to install PHP.